have the Mahindra XUV700 with us. The last time we drove this SUV was at the Mahindra training ground. Today we're going to find out how this fares in the real world conditions. In start-stop traffic, how is the ride quality, does it sail over potholes? Now before we get into the review, please do subscribe to our channel and let us know what you think of this video. Now we are driving the top of the line AX7L, which is powered by the 2-liter turbo-petrol engine. Now this engine belts out 197 bhp of power and 380 Nm of torque. Now what that means is that the XUV700 is the most powerful vehicle in the segment. But what will further impress you is the refinement of this engine. You step on the accelerator and it has this very linear but a smooth pickup. Now, like most turbo-petrol engines, it does not have that annoying lag. Now that Mahindra has managed to attain thanks to the 6-speed automatic torque converter transmission. Now this automatic transmission knows exactly when to upshift, and that negates that annoying turbo lag. Now moving forward, talking about the turbo itself, it kicks in at around 1800 RPM. So that is when you feel that the XUV700 is really increasing its pace. It feels faster, and as we all know, the turbo petrol engines are the most happiest at that mid-range power band. But again, a feather in the cap for Mahindra, because the XUV700 does not give up on power. It doesn't taper off like other cars when it reaches the top range. It also continues to provide that strong pull, so the driving dynamics does not get hampered, and that is something very impressive. Now moving forward, when you drive in the city conditions, how is it? Because this we are talking about on the highways or open roads. Well, as we said that the turbo lag is negated, there's always enough power available. You can even overtake cars in slow moving traffic, and that also applies same on highways. The XUV700 is based on a brand new platform which is 80% more stiffer than the 500. Now what does that mean? It actually means that it is a lot more confident in turns, in handlings. It is stable at high speeds. So initially, before, the 500 used to be a bit nervous while taking turns. The body roll was quite evident, but nothing of that sort in the 700. It actually drives like a car. So that is really encouraging. So if the handling capabilities has improved, well, there is a bit of a sacrifice in the ride quality. Now, I'm not saying that it crashes into potholes and it becomes uncomfortable, but you do know what sort of terrain you're going over. You do feel a bit of that thud when it goes over a pothole. So it's not as cushioning and comfortable as its competitors, but yes, it could have been slightly better. Now the XUV700 looks more like a mature XUV500, so it's more of an evolution, but it looks a lot more meatier, looks a lot more muscular, and it also has a very busy design. Now straight away you have this chunky looking front grille with the 6 vertical slats. It looks very aggressive. Then you have this elongated DRLs, or the fang-like DRLs. Again, brings a lot of character to this SUV. Now as we mentioned before, the design is more of an evolution of the XUV500, and that is quite prominent in the side profile. But it now comes with smarter looking 18-inch alloy wheels, and talking about smart, it comes with flush door handles that beautifully integrate into the door, and when you walk towards it, it pops out by itself. Now coming to the rear, the tailgate looks angular, it looks a lot more space age and contemporary, but what will be a bit of a surprise to you is that it is made of plastic. Now this has been done by Mahindra to reduce the weight, But the bad news is, if let's say your car gets rear-ended, well, the chances are that the entire unit gets replaced. So that is the only flip side of it, but other than that, it looks gorgeous. It definitely looks a lot more modern. Mahindra has managed to up the ante when it comes to the interior design and also the materials they have used. You can see that they have focused on premium material. So for starters, you can see the dashboard, it has this leather band here, then it gets this metal finish right here. Then the center console also gets a very smart glossy black finish. So a lot of details, but also they have left it to a very classy and simple design. The showstopper no doubt has to be the twin 10.25-inch touchscreen and the driver's display. Now the touchscreen or the infotainment system has all the features that you're looking at: navigation system, Android Auto, CarPlay, you name it, it has it. And on top of that, the all-digital driver console, it is very crisp, it has a lot of information. It also can be customized. If you want less information, then that is also an option. It also gives you little information like your fuel economy, and if you switched on the navigation system here, it'll show you here turn by turn information. So it is very helpful and it is not distractive at all. So if you look at the XUV700, it is totally loaded with a lot of features like a 360-degree camera. It also has blind spot camera, so when you switch on the indicators, it will give you a little display again on the driver's display. So it is again very helpful. The top of the line, the one that we are driving today, it comes with a 12-speaker Sony system with a 3D surround. So they have left no stone unturned. Now when you're talking so much about features, there are a couple of things that XUV700 misses out in. For starters, the auto dim internal rear view mirror. Then comes, it doesn't come with ventilated front seats either. We would have liked paddle shifters as well, but again, these are not deal breakers. These are just something we are pointing out. Another thing that we would like to point out is that most manufacturers, they get carried away with features and don't give that much importance to seats, and then they feel a bit underwhelmed. That's not the case with Mahindra. It is extremely well cushioned. It's very well contoured, especially for your lower backs. I have a lower back issue, so it's very supportive, very comfortable. On top of that, these are very big seats, so they feel also spacious and they're very supportive. The XUV is a full-sized SUV. It has 3 seat rows. Now, so the important thing here is space. And as you can see from my side, there's plenty of knee room, leg room, headroom. It feels a lot more spacious thanks to the biggest panoramic roof in the segment. Now, there are a couple of things though it doesn't offer. You cannot slide the second row bench. Only the backrest can be adjustable. Second thing is the XUV700 currently does not offer a 6-seater, so you don't get captain seats. But in case you feel that you need more legroom, there's a very simple way of going about it. The front passenger seat comes with this lever right here. You just pull it and you push it ahead, and there you have a lot of space. The seats itself, they're comfortable. There's a lot of shoulder room. So actually there can be 3 adults who can sit here. The under thigh support is alright. It's average at best, could be better. But again, you see if there's a person sitting in the middle row, there is decent space for your feet. Yes, the knee room is a bit less because of the AC vent, but again it is still very much spacious and 3 adults can sit easily even on long drives. In terms of features, you obviously have the rear AC vents right here. You get a slot here, you can keep your phone if it's on charge, and you get Type-C ports instead of the traditional USB port. Apart from that, yeah, it is still one of the most spacious cabins that you'll come across. But the acid test now is, how is it in the third row? Because that is what everybody wants to find out. So as we mentioned earlier, we can't really slide the seats forward. So Mahindra has offered a one-touch fold option right here. The entry, it's slightly narrow, but it's not as challenging as I would have expected it. But let's see how the space is in the back. Now we're folding the seat right here, and it is actually quite a tight space. Let me just put the seat belt. Right. So as you can see, there's no headroom here. There is barely any knee room. There's hardly any leg room. The seat is comfortable, no doubt, but I would suggest this place is more for kids. It's not really practical for adults to sit here. It does give you a couple of options. Like here you have the AC vents. Then you also get the fan speed right here, and for some reason Mahindra has given a 12-volt socket for charging and not a USB port. That would have been a little bit more practical. The XUV700 has a lot going for itself. Yes, Mahindra has hiked its price and it starts at 12.95 ex showroom, and it's just over the 22 lakh barrier, but it's smartly priced. Why so? Because it takes on compact SUVs as well as full-grown SUVs. Now, it has a lot of things going for itself, like a powerful, refined engine. It has a lot of space. Yes, the third row is limited space, but that's the case with most of the cars in this segment. And on top of that, it has so many features, including the segment first feature like the advanced driving assistance system. So all in all, we would say if you're looking at an SUV at this price range, please go ahead, check it out, go for a test drive at a Mahindra dealership, because it is really worth it.